Hey, it's Juan for Pedals and Effects, and I'm with the great Robert Carranza. And I've worked on many records with him, and I'm recording on some stuff right now. And every time I record in the studio here, I use this DI, and Robert's going to explain what that DI is. Who makes this DI?
This DI was made by Rich Farm Industries, and he started making a thing called the boiler, which is this ultra compressor, and then but before he did that, he made this legendary DI, which is called the gas cooker. It's a valve DI, which basically means that it has tubes in it, and part of the circuitry is that it's just like its own mic pre, but it goes through the valve, so the signal comes in, goes through this little level box here, which most DIs don't have a level input. But what this does is it drives the valve. So if you have an input, you can drive the input more to create harmonics on any kind of instrument, like drum machines, bass, guitar. And inside of it, it just basically has discrete Class A, which means it's about as pure as analog signal you can get, besides the tube, which has artifacts at times, but the harmonic content is something that you really like.
So what I've noticed the most is that the low end, because I've been using it with the acoustic bass guitar that I have, the landscape bass, and I just noticed that it really has this, I don't know if headroom's the right word, but it just grabs that low end and it articulates it better than anything I've ever heard.
You think of tubes, and tubes naturally compress. They have their own kind of, depending on how hard you hit them, just like a guitar amp, plug in and you start playing, the more you crank that tube up, the more sustain you're going to get out of it. A little bit, and plus the speaker reacts with it. This thing is just it's the exact same thing. The only problem with this thing is that once you use it, you don't want to use anything else. But on the output, there's a transformer, which, has, the one thing about the DI that I think what you're hearing the most is that it actually allows your instrument to sound like what it is. And whatever you're putting through it will also come through it without being colored in a weird way. A lot of DIs, and believe me, a lot of people have tried to make these, and they're unsuccessful. I have two of them. I have two versions of these. Yeah, there's a small little modification. It's just in the gain stage, and that's what something Palm does. And other than that, it's my go-to. I mean, I've used many DIs over the years. I've actually gotten rid of a lot of really good DIs that I have. After using this, I just can't go back. Especially musicians like yourself, they notice the difference.
Yeah, I absolutely notice a difference. I wish it was around when we made Bedlam together.
The crazy thing too is you plug a Rhodes in this, which normally you mic the speakers on the nice Rhodes.
Yeah.
And I've done it with some really great keyboard players who come in and go like, "Whoa, that sounds amazing," and it's just because it doesn't get in the way, And the stuff it does get in the way with is harmonically pleasing.
All right, man. Thanks. Hey, Robert for Pedals and Effects.
There you go.